Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 5th episode of Gallotti&Radice Live Behind the Scenes. My name is Chiara, and I'm the training manager at Gallotti&Radice. With us today, we have our brand and communication manager, Alessia Bernardinelli.
Hello.
As well as our CEO, Silvia Gallotti.
Hello.
And our project director, Chico Bestetti.
Hello.
As always, before starting our presentation, let me quickly remind you how this webinar works. So you can participate in a number of ways. If you have any comments or if you have to report a technical problem, you can use the chat. You can also raise your hand to attract Alessia's attention, and she will contact you directly by chat. Alternatively, you can ask questions using the QA box. In this case, you can do it anonymously should you prefer. We will try and respond to all questions at the end of the presentation, if that's okay. The presentation will last about 30 minutes and will be recorded. So we will be sending you the link to access it in the next few days. And you're very, very welcome to share it with your colleagues and network. Now, a very quick recap of the last episode. Last week, we focused on a number of products by Gallotti&Radice. We call them the most loved as they are iconic and have a strong identity, like the famous Audrey sofa that you can see in the image. Today, we'll continue this journey in the world of Gallotti&Radice, changing perspective. So rather than focusing on the products, we will have a look at the elements that make up the Gallotti&Radice's environment and enhance the beauty of each piece. So looking at the content of the presentation in a little bit more detail, we will start with the concept, so what's behind the project. Then we will see what are the physical elements that are used to create the space, the Gallotti&Radice design, and how they're refined by styling and art and light to create the right atmosphere. Finally, we will have a look at practical examples, the best representatives of our projects, our flagship stores in the world. So I'll now hand over to Silvia. Enjoy the presentation.
Hello, everybody. And this is my first webinar. So first of all, I would like to thank all the people who joined us up till now. We started with the webinars for trainings to train our clients, but these weeks we realized how it was beautiful to stay closer to our clients and followers, and also an opportunity to tell something more about us. I can see that there are attendees from all over the world, many European countries and from UK, but also from east to west of the world. And I see people from Thailand, from India, from the US. Well, this participation gives us immense pleasure and a great energy. So, first of all, I would like to introduce the subject of today's webinar, which we call the Project Perspective. Since the brand developed from a collection based on products to a collection dedicated to the total living, we felt it was essential to create an architectural setting to include the products and to underline and to enhance their expression. Gallotti&Radice has been evolving its collection a lot in these 5-6 years, both in terms of variety of product typologies and in terms of presentation in architectural environments. Today, the collection is very versatile and conceived for living rooms, dining room, and bedrooms, according to a style that is sophisticated, international, and timeless. Of course, we always work and invest to make sure that our products are expression of important values like craftsmanship, so uniqueness, and quality of a production made in Italy. Today, we will explain how an interior project by Gallotti&Radice is conceived and developed. It is a result of an intense work made in team by our technical and visual departments. And I would like Chico Bestetti to tell you all the details about that.
Thank you, Silvia. Thank you very much. I'm so proud to be here with all of you and talking about the concept of the project for Gallotti&Radice. It's very important for me to explain the base where we start to fix the project. First of all, I have to say to you that from the beginning, from the founder of the company, Mr. Gallotti and Mr. Radice, one direction of the company on the product was to create a collection of product with a strong identity on one side, and on the other side to have a direction of a new technology, and with a very, very important formal sign of the design. When in 2012, between 2012 and 2014, we decided to move from a collection of product to the lifestyle. So to complete the collection, exploring all the area of the apartment, all the area of the house, moving from the dining to the living room and to the night area, was very important for us to stay in the same direction than the founder gave to us. So to increase the collection in all the area of the house with the same feeling, the research of the new material, but on the same time to save the very important sign, the stronger personality than every pieces that we introduce inside of the collection have in their soul. That was very important. So we start to explore all the typology of material. For example, when we go in the direction of the sofa, the material, the surfaces, the fabric on the leather, and at the same time on the other object of the collection, talking about wood, talking about marble, granite, or in the same time how we can change the shape and the feeling of the metal. And that is very important. In the second important things on our research is that we want to discover the old technology, the old craftsman, the product in our area, and to represent in a new design style all this kind of particularly special handmade finishing. That can give the collection more personality, and every piece is, because it's handmade, became unique. When you think that these two main direction of the strategy, how we build the collection, when this is very important because it's the consideration that we have to bring is part of the project when you think to build a project between container and content. For this reason, and that is the main direction that we start for the architecture. So now I want to introduce to you, when we talk about architecture, the first element that you have to understand is then how we can combine together the materials, and the material, and which kind of material they have, the reflection in the different atmosphere that we are able to create it in the space. Starting for the modern design, moving to the contemporary, moving to the contemporary a little bit more classic. This is the large range of typology of the client and can love the kind of the lifestyle direction that we have to follow in our project. The first materials, like when we approach to the standard architectural buildings, will be the flooring. For the flooring, we decide to use the wood, and we decide to move in oak wood. The oak wood help to us because if you treat it, brush a little bit the surface, that can give to the wood much more strong elements of the materials, especially when the light touch the vibration of the fiber of the wood, give to the flooring much more elegance and much more intensity. But at the same time, we work in the direction that the parquet cannot only be a standard kind of parquet. For this reason, we decide to install the parquet in our space, in our project, in a kind of V shape that we call fishbone way. Because always we research the detailing to be always like in the detailing of the product, the detailing of the architectural elements, and that was very important. Black color is important too, because black color with the light color of the wood give a surface much more dimension, much more prosthetic. Quite the space explored, became bigger in this proportion between clear and dark. And at the same time, luxury give follow the black color, follow the atmosphere. From the horizontal to the vertical, when we start to think the material, how to cover, how to creating in the vertical element, for sure. For the wall, the first things that for us was very important to create the plaster texture. Because for us, always this naturality feeling and this material feeling is always very important. And white that is not a kind of standard white, because the way how we can install the white plaster on the wall in a kind of random way give a different feeling when always the light touch the material of the wall, give this kind of vibration, and that is always important. When we talk about the white, is a particular kind of white, because in relation of the lighting, if it's cold, this white became cold too. If the white became a little bit more red and more warm, the white became more warm. That can give to us to increase the range of the atmosphere that we have to give to our space. The second material, starting from the white and go more in the direction of modernity, the second kind of material was for sure the cement, because immediately the relation between the white and the cement drive us into the mood that is much more linked to the modernity that is a part of the soul of the company too. Sometimes we want to balance this modernity of the cement with some details in metal, something like a metal gold. Let's balance the pure modernity of cement comparable to the contemporary of the materials. Going and driving a little bit more in the warm world, in the warm style, we decided this demand became black. Became black for two reasons. One, like I said to you, because we need something that move from the little bit more cold to a little bit more warm atmosphere. And the second one, very important for the black color, is that when you use the same color for horizontal and vertical, you change the perspective between the clear and the dark. Quite like you lose a little bit the perspective of the space, and that is another nice element, because we love in the project of architecture this concept where they show the space, the volume appear and disappear in relation for what we want to put in accent or what we want to become a secondary kind of elements. We decide to move the wood always into the vertical elements, but only we use the wood covering for the wall only in two episodes. The first one is when we are moving in a kind of, we talk about the dark wood, Christina. When we use the dark wood, we use the dark wood only in two important places. When we have the cool area, like the bedroom, where we need then the cool area, the warm area is much more intensity. Or, for example, we use for a special kind of character of architecture, like fireplace, for example, or like a floating wall, or like a special kind of cutting wall, then give a very strong and impressive image to the space. Moving from always moving from the modernity to the classic, the contemporary classic style, we decide to introduce a new typology, but it's new and classic on the same time, typology wood that is not common to have it. This is the rosewood.
Sorry, I just interrupt you because I would like to explain a little bit why we chose the rosewood. Actually, we found this sample in the material library of the company, this sample from the 80s, and we decided to introduce it in our spaces as a wood. The rosewood is very precious, so we like that. This idea is not so common, and above all, this wood is very warm, so it perfectly suits the atmosphere of our spaces and creates a perfect contrast with our architectural elements that are mainly with the cold tone. Sorry, you can go ahead.
Following the concept that I said, naturality and feeling the material is very important for us. For this reason, we decide to present another element of the architecture, that is the wallpaper. The wallpaper is not a standard kind, it's a 3D wallpaper. And we decide the 3D wallpaper that is a news. And it's important because give to you this kind of three-dimensional where the materials come out strongest way than a standard kind of wallpaper. And the second one is because wallpaper gives to us different design and different colors and different kind of atmosphere, and increase the area of the atmosphere that we are able to create it in our space, and give to us more flexibility.
Again, we chose this wallpaper mainly because we like the idea that it's not a digital printing, but it's made reproducing an ancient technique that by impression creates a geometrical pattern on a three-dimensional scale. A kind of 3D texture that is beautiful, not only for its look, but also when you touch it.
The 3D for us is an important element, like the naturality and the vibration of the material. For this reason, we decide to use and then became a part of our image very strong, this 3D wall. We bring this concept from the Brazilian architecture. A lot of famous architects that comes from Brazil use the 3D wall, for example, to divide the indoor and outdoor for the nice and luxurious villas. Or for example, during the 60s and 70s, the American architects, especially located in the area of California, use these 3D elements, sometimes open, sometimes closed, how to give this kind of this kind of vibration to the architects of the buildings. For us, it's very important, like I said, we design this 3D wall, and it's the only one element that we give so importance in a space, and is the only one element where we can put our brand. Because for us, it's very important for the corporate identity of the company, it's very important to have one strong element where you recognize elements, graphic, and on the same time combined together with the brand. All these elements combined together in relation of the atmosphere that we want to give to you goes from modernity and goes to contemporary and classic kind of style. Because when you have a company that is moving in a worldwide market, you have to think with the worldwide kind of different typology of client, different kind of typology of consumer. In this graphic, you see that the first circle that is in the center is the flooring, but the circle that is outside explain to you how in relation of which kind of typology of showroom, which kind of typology of houses you want to have, that you can change the proportion of the material. For sure, if you are in the modernity, like I said at the beginning, the white color, the cool color will be more in percentile inside of the project. But at the same time, if we move from that side to the classic side, the warm material, the warm wood, and all this warm side of the elements goes in percentile increasing. These arguments introduce a last argument that is always very, very important. I think is quite concerning to the collection, is the really, really most important. For this reason, in this last time, quite all the architecture make a lot of investment, make a lot of research in the light. We divided the light in two most important categories. The first one is the technical light. It's not important where is recessed the spotlight, but it's important to have this spotlight and give to you two important elements. The first one is to give a kind of atmosphere lighting, general lighting, and the second one combined together of our collection. And the second one give a very kind of punctual light and give an accent to the detail, for example, to the vibration of the material of the object, or to the detail, for example, a kind of handles. That is not something that the people understand, but the people moving side of the space in relation between darkness and lightness. And this is always very important to combine together architectural elements and the lighting atmosphere. The second important is our collection of design lighting.
Yeah, we actually introduced the light as a product when we started with the lifestyle collection. And in a few years, it has become so successful that due to the requests of the market, we developed different configurations. Talking about the bolle, for example, which is the first lamp that we launched, we added different options of the lamp, like the floor lamp, the table lamp. But not only that, we also developed the product in order to make it modular. So we create a real system that today allows big installations and proper lighting architectures.
It's exactly this relationship now that we learn. When we start to consider the content to the container, we understand that this architectural relation had the strongest power in the market and into the project. But every one of these materials, every one of these concepts of architecture driving in one direction. This is the direction of the atmosphere. Atmosphere is something like the resolution of the project. If we are able to combine together these four important elements, we are able to create an atmosphere then represent the style of the place, the style of the consumer, the style of the aspect, then the kind of restaurant or bar or hotel they have to have. In one side, you have the architectural material that goes with this architectural. Then, like I explained before, in relation of which kind of material you have, one atmosphere or the other one. The second are the product. All our products are so strong in personality and in the finishing. You can drive the different combination following the combination of the architectural atmosphere. Lighting increase this feeling, increase this possibility to give more accent on the atmosphere that you want to create. The last one, but not less important, is the styling. Styling is the way how we can close the circle of the project. Styling is important because dress up the product, dress up the architectural space. And this is important because without the styling, without one of these four elements, we lose part of the importance of the project. I want to give to you two examples, just some sliding, that immediately can give you the feeling how we can change the architectural color, how we can change, or when we can change the architectural finishing, architecture or finishing of the product. You drive from the modern to the contemporary. If we talk first for the modern, for example, you see that the product became more cold. You know, the white color, the white accent, all kind of the cold blue that you have there. The surface became white, became pure and simple. Cement comes inside of the space, the 3D wall. Even in the bedroom, you see all the color, the materials and the lighting drive you in the kind of very modern and design atmosphere. The clear wood, the clear carpets, everything drive you, every kind of detailing, even the styling and the lighting goes together in the direction to give a feeling to the people that is moving inside of the space, give a feeling of a strong modernity. The second option, when you drive from the modernity to contemporary, you see this lighting, change the material are changing in the architecture into the product. The Audrey sofa became a satinized red or with a touch of English green kind. The leather come into the space. The lighting became more red. We introduced the redwood colors. The bed too, you see, became with a dark kind of blue color. Immediately the feeling that you have is a feeling of more contemporary. So that is important in the project of, when we approach the project of architecture, is very important to share with the driver of the project all our competence to mix together a nice project that is like a kind of handmade dresses to give a stronger personality in which area we are doing, in which kind of architecture we are doing the project. Moving from the atmosphere to the lifestyle is very important. So styling, like I said before, is very important for us to close the concept of the project. For the styling, we move in three important elements, three important directions. The first direction is to create it for the project a kind of styling kit. Styling kit that are personalized for a different area of the house, of the place. We have one for the dining, one for the living with the bookshelf, with the bar area, with the sofas and coffee table, and the last one for the night area. All these kit sets are combined, is a combination between two most important elements. The object that I call object of volume, no personality. If I need books, I need 1,000 books to give the strongest way, for example, for a book shelf area. And the second one is a touch of personality kind of object. They give a touch of personality, they give a touch and drive to you into the direction of the style. The second one is our collection of objects.
Yes, I would like to say something about the accessories collection, which is made of precious objects that are, of course, handmade using precious materials like solid brass, glass, and marbles. Also, these accessories are included in almost all our styling kits and are supplied with a nice and elegant packaging in order to be sold by the dealer as the rest of the collection. We are proud of this collection and we wish to enlarge it in the future for two main reasons. First, because the accessory is a detail, and as it happens in fashion, precious details always help making the final look sophisticated and elegant. Second reason is because accessories were in the Gallotti&Radice collection since the origins. Actually, we have historic designs from our production in the 60s and in the 70s. Some of these objects have already re-edited and some others are under evaluation. Our intention is to make this collection, as I said, larger and larger. So I think you will be having news very soon about this accessory collection.
And another important thing we are thinking for the strategy for our dealers, you know, a collection of accessory created a fast turnover for clients and just to get a gift, and then so it's something it's something external to the collection of cyber or sofa, but it's something that can really create much more turnover of the dealer. Another important element, very important for us, we are thinking that more and more design and art will be in the future, still now and for the future, more connected. And art bring us in a world of culture, and that is the part of the strategy direction of our lifestyle strategy. Art is always very important because in our flagship store we want to invite to create an event worldwide artists to be together with us in our direction. And the second one for our dealer can be an opportunity to invite, to present, and to have a connection with some art gallery in their country, and to have this connection. We are thinking that art is a very good way how to increase the perception of our project, the perception of our lifestyle.
From vision to reality. When we introduced the lifestyle collection, we felt it was strategic to have the presence of Gallotti&Radice on three main cities in the world, Milano, London, and Miami. This actually allowed us to make the collection more and more complete, being able in this way to test it directly in the market and to develop a proposal which was according to the needs of the market itself. Kiko, you can introduce now our flagship stores.
Absolutely, thank you, Sylvia. We choose three examples, Milan, Miami, and London, to give to you the feeling how change the way into the location, into the relation between container and content. But first, Milan, because Milan is quite the heart of design in the world, is an event where we can present our collection, our lifestyle. We are in a location, is a historical location situated in the area of design and furniture. And when we approach to this project, we have to consider the soul of the building, the historical way of the building. Imagine that inside was one of the most antiques bookstore in the city center. So we save, for example, the sign of the mezzanine, and we save, for example, this out of scale of the higher of the space next to the window. And we introduce some typical Milanese example for detailing. Example, the balustrade that you see, we discover this design on the 60 typical 60H design of the high-level architects, Milanese in that period. On the same time, you see here, you will see the combination between the wood floor, the white wall, for example, the verticality of the wall making in wood and make a connection between the ground floor and the mezzanine, and that is another important element because give a strongest image of this double volume. On the same time, for example, here we use this auto scale even in the product to give much more stronger image to the collection. For example, the bookshelf next to the window is one of the attractive elements from the outside to the inside. That is very important. And the combination with the lighting then give this, you see, the deepness between the dark and the light and give always increase this perfection of the atmosphere. The second very important example is London. London, you know, is a connection between the East taste to the European taste. And the building where we are is completely different. First of all, we are inside of the renovation buildings, and in this industrial building is a kind of shopping mall where dedicated to the designer, to the architects, where we are in combination with other shops. Here, the architecture, like I said before, is a typical industrial architecture. And always in every place where we approach the project, we want to save the soul of the building, the aspect of the buildings. Here, for example, in our space, we have, for example, the metal beams, or you have the piping, the sprinkler is you see on the ceiling, and we want to save the soul of the building in the combination. Here we combine together the modernity of the building and a little bit more contemporary, classic about the style of living, typical in UK, typical for the Asian. So this is another example where we combine together architectural elements using with our materials to be recognizable. And at the same time, we use the lighting and the color of the product to go much more in direction of the taste of the market. Exactly the opposite then in London, if you see the project that we make in Miami, we are located, our flagship store is located in the design district. You see in this place, this is the outside of the building, is very pure and simple, is quite minimal. In the area of Caribbean, the lighting of the outdoor is so strong that comes inside of the building too. We have to consider the relation between the light. And here, there is a connection between always two culture. There is a culture of the North American people with the culture of the South American people, then move to Miami to spend holidays, to have an apartment and villas there. You see here where we became more modern, because here is a center of modernity and design. Here the people love to have a kind of lighting atmosphere. Lightness is an important element of the culture of the architecture on this area of the world. Here, the color, the black and the white, the contrast between black and white became so strong. The lighting became more cool. And all the atmosphere goes in the direction of what we are doing. And you see how we are able to translate with our material the stronger personality, the product, driving from the contemporary classic to the much modern design. And at the same time, we save, you see there is a small boiserie in a dark gray color, because always we want to say, this one was the only one original Art Deco space, because we are in the Art Deco area, and we approach to the project following what is the soul of the building, and we move with our material, with our perspective, into the direction of corporate identity of the company, and to save the feeling of the people, the customer that move inside of the space. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kiko.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kiko. Thank you, Silvia. We will answer the question in a few minutes. We kindly remind you that you can write an email as written below at marketing@Gallotti&Radice.it to ask the in-depth analysis via Zoom or telephone. Pamela Oliva, our sales manager, is available for providing additional information and explaining our fast delivery program. a program dedicated to our customers, Gallotti&Radice's products with exceptional lead times. There's a list in this slide, and you can ask additional information at Gallotti&Radice, on the website at Gallotti&Radice.it/fast delivery, and you can contact the email sales@Gallotti&Radice.it. So the same openness, in case you have additional requests from a technical point of view, you can contact easily Lorena Bartesaghi, head of our technical office, or Simona Lampugnani, our project manager, by writing an email at marketing@Gallotti&Radice.it. And now we can have a look at the question. So Silvia and Kiko, you are asked to answer. Okay, there is one question. Brand recognition plays a fundamental role. What are the keywords of Gallotti&Radice style?
Well, first things that I'm thinking is then research.
Kiko, sorry to interrupt you. I think that your webcam is having some problems because we see the. Okay, now it's perfect. Thank you.
Sorry.
We were missing you.
I don't want to miss. No, it's very important. Research. This is the first step that we present the project, the concept. But you have to think that the concept following the taste of the worldwide society, following the taste of the evolution of the architect concept, following the taste of the evolution of art and design. So research is very important. Innovation is very important too. Always driving this innovation and importance with a clear idea that our mission is to create a kind of lifestyle with an international point of view, with a sophisticated taste, with a luxury point of view, and always done with elements of characters in architectural and elements of characters in our collection.
Perfect. There is another question. Are you planning lifestyle projects in strategic markets?
Yes, maybe I can answer this. Well, we have a couple of nice projects. The first one is a boutique hotel, which would be the first boutique hotel Gallotti&Radice, let's say. It's in Belgium, and is a beautiful building, an historical building with very nice marble inside. So the architecture is so nice, amazing, and I really look forward to seeing the final result of this hotel, because it's a little but beautiful project. So I really look forward to it. And second, we have a project for a new monobrand in Austria. So I think the next one will be in Vienna. And again, it's in the center of the city. And I think the architectural elements that are already in the building are perfect for our style. So again, I'm curious to see the final result.
Perfect. I cannot see any other questions. So if the participant says, okay, just ask. Will you be sending samples of the wallpaper? Margot Tress, there is a question, a specific question.
Well, if there is a specific project where we can have our lifestyle presentation, of course, we will be sending the samples.
Okay. Poi, Karen visits, what the lead time for the quick ship items to US or Puerto Rico? Where is the stock located?
Yes, I saw many attendees from Puerto Rico, so thank you for the participation. Well, we have now a very nice program that Alessia introduced, which is called Fast Delivery Program. So we have a number of items that are ready, can be ready in a very short time, let's say from 1 week to 4 weeks, from the reopening date of the factory, because as you know, production is now closed and we should be able to open again the 4th of May. Considering this type of program and the transport to the US or to Puerto Rico, let's say, I don't know, from 1 to 8 weeks. I mean, 1 week to make it ready, and then the time for the transport.
Okay. Poi, there is another question. Would it be possible to order all the architecture materials via Gallotti&Radice? A part of the collaboration with Wall&Deco. Do you have partnership also with a wooden floor company, etc.?
Kiko. No, we don't have a specific partnership with companies for the architectural elements. Of course, we include these elements in our lifestyle, so we are glad to provide all the elements when we have the projects. At the moment, no, we don't have specific collaborations ongoing.
But will be part of our strategy, probably, because sometimes in the world it's difficult to send or to send packet from here, or maybe they have the packet there. So sure, and on the same time, in the direction of to be exclusive, we are trying to work in direction with the partner, and maybe a special kind of color, special kind of finishing into the architecture. This is something, like I said at the before, no? We are always researching. There is nothing that is fixed. Something is always in movement. We increase probably the number of finishing in the next future, or we discover a new kind of finishing that will be more strongest materials and natural. That will be sure. We are open-minded for kind of partnership, sure.
Okay, there is someone that is trying to find the fast delivery on the website but cannot find it. Maybe it's better to send an email directly to sales@gallotti&radice.it. Pamela will reply, but anyway, I'll take note about the email address and I can write the email after the end of the webinar. So Loretta Tanzi will have the proper link.
Yes, sorry, Alessia. The link that is on the screen, that leads you directly to the list of products. So
yes, the person was saying that he was trying to find the fast delivery but cannot find it. So maybe
it's not on the website. You have to digit exactly
the link. Yeah.
That,
but we can send it for you via email.
I can share you the website page. I just, press on that link and then you get onto the website.
Yeah.
So this is what you would see. So here you've got.
But I will answer anyway. There is another question. Are you planning on introducing the new collection that was supposed to be presented in Salone?
Yes, we have new products for the collection 2020, and we are arranging presentations. Also, we decided to use these webinars to introduce the novelties of 2020. So stay tuned, because you will see them directly in the webinars.
Yeah, follow us, believe me.
Okay, I don't see any other questions, so just a few seconds if there are someone coming. No, I think that is almost done. Let me check on chat. Okay, this is already been okay. No, I think we have done for tonight, so it's our pleasure to say thank you to all the people that were attending the webinar. suggestions about next episode themes are more than welcome as always. We will be more than pleased to detail study on required focus. So thank you very much. We wait for you to follow the next episode schedule, exceptionally due to the bank holiday in Italy, for the next Tuesday, 30th of April at 5:30 p.m. We will have the pleasure of a second happening with our CEO, Silvia Gallotti, and our project director, Chicco Bestetti, after the success of this first webinar together. And after exploring project perspective, we will investigate product perspective. So don't miss it. And thank you very much once again.
Thank you. See you on Thursday then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.